Hey guys, welcome back. So I've got another collab for you, and this time it is with Erin over at FreshBlush, and we're doing sort of a life and death theme, and she's representing the angel of life and light, while I, as you can probably tell, am representing the angel of death and darkness. Erin's probably one of the sweetest people that I know, and she's super talented, so I'll leave all of her information and links down below, so please check her out. I'm sure you guys already know who she is, but yeah, that'll be down in the description, and let's get into it. As per usual, I'm starting out with an eyeshadow primer, and I'm applying that all over my eyelid as well as under the eye, and then over top of that I'm applying an eyeshadow that matches my skin tone pretty well, just so we have a nice base to blend the rest of our eyeshadows on. The next shade we're using is called Maybe Later from NYX, and I'm just starting to apply that to the outer corner and then blending that into the crease. This one doesn't have to be really precise. Then the next shade is Betrayal. This one is also from NYX. I think all of the eyeshadows that I'm using in this are from NYX besides the main base color that I used. And this one's a little bit of a darker brown, so I'm just going to use this to start deepening the outer corner and the crease. The next one is a beautiful green shade called Kush, and I'm applying that to the lid, blending up into those browns that we've got going on, and I'm not taking that all the way into the inner corner, but I am giving it sort of a rounded shape. And then apparently I forgot to show you guys this next shade, but it's called Stripped, and it's not quite a black, but it's probably like the darkest gray that you can imagine. And I'm just applying this to the outer corners, blending up into the crease, kind of that outer V, and I'm also applying this to the inner corner and then just blending that into the green on both sides. Then that's it for the eyeshadow. I'm going to curl my lashes, and then we're going to tightline and line the waterline with a black liner. Again, I'm using the NYX gel pencil liner in the shade Pitch Black. And this bottom part doesn't really matter what it looks like for now, so I'm just kind of smudging it out. We're going to go in and apply the tears later. So yeah, then I decided I wanted to kind of neutralize that top lid and lighten it, so I'm going back in with that Maybe Later shade and just blending that over top of everything. Now I'm taking my Nye Clown White on a red body paint sponge, and I'm just going to start applying that all over the face. I'm blending this into the eyebrows as well, and then just combing through with a spoolie to straighten them out. As I go, I'm taking my, I think this is the Sigma E39, the Buff and Blend, and also my E36, and I'm just going to use those to blend out the edges where the white is meeting the eyeshadow. I'm applying the white back onto my ears as well as on my lips and down onto my neck just a little bit. And now that we have a layer of the white on our face, I'm going in with a second layer to start creating a little bit of texture. The Clown White is super thick, so I'm using this to kind of help camouflage my brows a bit more as well. And to create the texture, I'm picking up quite a bit of product onto my sponge, and then I'm just stippling that lightly onto my face, and it will kind of disperse itself into these little peaks. And then if I want to take away any of the texture, I'm just going to blend and smooth over certain areas. And it's kind of hard to see since it is white and the lights are so bright, but here I did play with the coloring so that you could see a bit of the texture more. So now, since this is a cream, we need to set it, so I'm using the Nye Super White Powder, and I'm very gently stippling or pressing this onto the cream. We don't want to push too hard or swipe, or we're just going to mess up all the texture that we just made. It is going to flatten just a little bit, but once we do contour, you will be able to see the texture more. And speaking of contour, we're using a gray eyeshadow for this, and this one is called Craving. I'm concentrating the deepest part of the contour back toward the ear, and then I'm blending that down toward the corner of the mouth. For the nose contour, I'm applying that down the sides of the nose, and then I'm really blending that out near the inner corners of the eyes. I'm also contouring a little bit around the tip of the nose. And if you need to, you can go in with your white powder to lighten it up a bit. And I decided to make that really smudgy around the inner corners. I then started applying Craving to the center of the lips, as well as a little bit of Stripped and the NYX Primal Color in Hot Red. At this point, I wasn't planning on doing the drips coming from the mouth or the nose, but this still served as a nice base for those. I then decided to go back to the green we used earlier and blend a little bit of that into the cheek contours as well as up onto the temples. So now here you can see a little bit more of the texture on the cheeks. So now moving on to the tears, I'm starting out with the same green eyeshadow that we've been using, and I'm using a wet brush to apply this underneath the eyes. This is kind of going to be the base of our tears, and then I'm dipping my brush in a little bit of water and then pressing it against the skin where I want the top of that tear to be, and then gently shaking it back and forth until the water drops down. And then you can stop that from running by just touching your brush to the end of that drip. And then I just wanted to quickly show you guys what inspired me to do this look. It's the Hazaro Angel. So I'm just going to continue applying tears. You can do as many or as few as you would like. The more product that you have on your brush before dipping it into the water, the more opaque that the teardrop will be. And also the more water that you have on your brush, obviously the more drippy that your tear will be. And I would guess that if you're using an eyeshadow, unless it's super pigmented, it will be a lot harder to get opaque than if you're using a body paint, which I do with the black. And you can also headbang a little bit if your drip is in need of a little push. And again, just gently tapping your brush to the end if you want to help keep that from dripping too much more. So now I'm going to do the same thing with a black water activated body paint. This one is the Mehron Paradise Paint. Another thing to keep in mind is that the tears will fall with the direction of your head tilt. So if you're wanting them to generally go in the same direction, tilt your head accordingly. I then decided I wanted a little bit of emotion coming from the eyebrows, so I'm taking that light gray eyeshadow and I'm blending that up a little bit at the inner beginning part of the eyebrows, sort of like we want to create a Tim Burton-esque, sad, kind of worried eyebrow. Now I'm just using those same techniques to add drips coming from the nose as well as the mouth, and again I'm using the same green and black. If your body paint ends up being a little bit too thick to drip down as much as you want it to, just go ahead and dip your brush back in the water and place it at the top of that teardrop, and then it will drip a little bit more. Next, I'm using a black cream makeup. This is the Mehron Creamblend stick in the color black, and I'm just stippling that onto my neck, down to my collarbone, and out onto my shoulders. I'm bringing this into a slight V between the collarbones and then curving up and out onto the shoulders. I'm keeping the edges really smoky and smudgy. And I'm also blending this just slightly up onto the white. And this does not need to be an even application. We're going to go in now with our red eyeshadow and kind of unevenly blend that over top of the black to add a little bit of texture. And I am applying this all over to help set the black, but I'm going in certain areas and adding more. And then I'm using the red to smoke out the edges as well. And you could wear false lashes for this. I just wanted to keep it pretty minimal, so I'm applying some mascara to my top and bottom lashes just to black them out. And then I'm going in with a little bit of the Clown White on a pretty separated dual fiber face brush, and I'm just stippling that all over the neck piece, again, to add more texture. Then I'm just going in and stippling a little bit of that red eyeshadow over it to soften it up. Then for a little extra set, I'm going in with the NYX Matte Finishing Spray and just spraying a couple layers over everything. To finish off, I'm quickly applying some black body paint to my fingers as well as in between the bones of my hand, and just cleaning up with a little bit of water on a cotton bud. And then we're done. This one is actually pretty easy, and I think it would look really cool if you had like a black corset with a flowy black skirt or something like that. You don't 100% need the contacts, but they do give an added effect, or if you've got black scleras, you could wear those as well and they would be even creepier. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to check out Erin's video. I will have all of her information down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and I will see you next time.